Hello team, and happy belated Pride Month. Now I know what you're thinking, you dumb bitch, Pride is June. And you're right, but where I spend half my time, in Portland, if you didn't know, Pride is actually celebrated in July, so that it doesn't overlap with other important celebrations like Juneteenth. So to keep the Pride ball rolling, I wanted to set up this vlog so that it would come out during the weekend of Portland's Pride Festival. I wanted to. Unfortunately, this vlog is gonna be a little later than that. I already filmed this intro, and what I said in that intro no longer stands because I got interrupted in the middle of reading for this vlog by another stray dog, which you will see clips of in this vlog. Because of that, it's been pushed by another week. So you're seeing this a week later than it was supposed to come out, but it's because I got to rescue another dog. So I can't be mad about it, and neither can you. So whatever. So Pride keeps going. Great. So in this vlog, I'm only going to be reading books by queer authors that are in some way or another about the wide, complex, and beautiful range of queer experience. So I'll be reading one book about a not straight woman, one book about a trans man fighting literal and figurative ghosts and demons, and one book about a non-binary mountain lion, as far as I've been able to glean. And as of right now, when I'm refilming the intro, I already read these two while I was in the other city where I spend half my time, Los Angeles. And so now the only one left for me to read is the non-binary mountain lion book. As a disclaimer, I know this doesn't even come close to covering the spectrum of gender and sexuality, but I had limited time to read these books, and this was the most I could cover. I was supposed to have more time, I was supposed to read one other book, but life found a way in the form of a stray dog, and so those plans changed. So without further ado, here is a big gay vlog. The first book that I'm reading is Sunburn by Chloe Michelle Howarth. This would be the book about the not straight woman. It's been on my shelf for about 8 months and now it's about to come off. It's the early 1990s and in the Irish village of Crossmore, 15-year-old Lucy feels out of place. Despite her fierce friendships, she's always felt this way, and the conventional path of marriage and motherhood doesn't appeal to her at all. Not even with handsome and doting Martin, her closest childhood friend. Lucy begins to make some sense of herself during a long hot summer when a spark with her school friend Susanna escalates to an all-consuming infatuation and very quickly to a desperate and devastating love. Fearful of rejection from her small and conservative community, Lucy begins living a double life, hiding the most honest parts of herself in stolen moments with Susanna. But with the end of school and the opportunity to leave Crossmore looming, Lucy must choose between two places, two people, and two futures, each as terrifying as the other. Only one can offer her real happiness. Let's get gay. I'm only on page 1 and I can tell that this is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt. Page 1 is so beautiful already. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. Also, perhaps the hardest opening line of all time. The very first line, "Now is the time between birth and slaughter." What? I broke the lamp. I broke the fucking lamp. Oh, come on. Okay. I f***ed up at some point over the last 2 weeks, and I left my SD card with the rest of my Sunburn vlog footage down in LA somewhere. So I'm gonna restate my thoughts on this book. Good. Shh. Quiet. Sunburn is about all types of relationships between women. Romantic, friendship, mother and daughter relationships. It's about a girl. Whoa. A hawk. Holy shit. Whoa. It's about a girl becoming a woman, a girl trying not to become her mother, a girl learning all the different ways that you can love another girl. This book was gorgeous, beautiful. One of my notes just says She writes the way that Hosier writes. And maybe it's an Irish thing. Maybe every Irish person can write lines of love and worship this easily. I mean, really, at one point she says, how was God going to see me as worthy of communion? How was he going to see me at all when she sparkled so beautifully beside me? And that was before she realized she had a crush on this girl. So Lucy is growing up in a small village in Ireland called Crossmore, and she's slowly accepting the fact that she's gay, but she doesn't accept it enough to be open about it, or be open with her love for this other girl, or be brave enough to move forward in the world with the girl that she loves. She's also growing up in general throughout the book. So in addition to figuring out her sexuality, she also has that double whammy of figuring out the rest of her identity, who she is, what she wants overall, everything that you're trying to figure out as a teenager. She has times where, aside from all the gay, she barely feels like a person because her identity rests so fully enmeshed with other people. She's this person's daughter, she's this person's friend, she's this person's girl, which is such a relatable thing, especially as a teenager, being unable to really fully do your own thing and carve out your place in life. I loved this book so much, and it really truly does have one of the hardest opening lines of all time, and it was an easy 5 stars. It's time to read a book in the hot tub. We're reading The Woods All Black, in the black of the night, in the hot tub. Let's go. Oh my God, I found a black widow. I found a black, hold on. Do you see it? Do you see the hourglass underneath? That is a black widow, my dude. No thanks. Okay, the spider threat has been taken care of. I am reading The Woods All Black by Lee Mandello in the hot tub tonight. Can you see that? Kind of. Where am I? I don't have the dust jacket with me because I was traveling, but according to Goodreads, it says The Woods All Black is equal parts historical horror, trans romance, and blood-soaked revenge. It's set in 1920s Appalachia. There's violence bubbling. I'm going into this one pretty much without knowing a lot of what it's about, but we're just gonna go for it. We're gonna read in the hot tub. Okay, I've read the first chapter. Oh, come on. Oh, my face is so red from the heat. Okay, I've read the first chapter. We are in, what year are we in? We're in 1929. We have a nurse named Leslie, and he is assigned a position in Kentucky. He's from Chicago, assigned a position in Kentucky. He's a traveling nurse. They call him frontier nurses. And he's been assigned to this tiny little town in the backwoods of Kentucky, which is made extra spooky for him because he is a trans man and he doesn't know this town's politics or how they would react to that. So he has to live as a woman while he's in this town. And he also has given himself a secret mission. He's there from the government to do general nursing things, birthing babies, fixing illnesses and all that. But he also goes from town to town, and without the government knowing, he does these secret little medical missions for people. Oh no, come back. Come back. It's too foggy in here. He gives sex ed to young people who didn't learn anything about how pregnancy happens. He finds other people who might be trans or queer in some way, and he helps them secretly under the table without the government knowing, without the rest of the town knowing. What else? He helps women who are tired of being pregnant again and again and again, but don't know anything about contraceptives, who don't know anything about not having children, who don't know anything about preventing pregnancy. He helps men who don't know how to please the people that they're sleeping with. So he says that he was a nurse in the war, and he gathered sexological knowledge in Europe during the war. So he's using it secretly to help people in these small towns as he gets hired out in different areas. And that's all we have so far. He's a little uneasy going into the small town. It takes like 25 miles in a car after already being on a train, and then 5 or 6 hours on horseback to reach this teeny tiny little town. So we're nervous about his identity. We're nervous about a few things, and that's kind of where we are. It was 11 pages. I'm too burning hot to read in the hot tub anymore, and my book pages were getting a little wet from the steam. So no more for now. Okay, I forgot to update last night after the hot tub. So I'm like 95 pages in. We have creepy vibes so far, but nothing actually creepy or scary has happened. This is marketed as a horror book. I assume horror-based things are gonna happen, but it's slow build. I mean, it's a novella, so it's not that slow building, but it's as slow building as a novella really could be. Nothing overtly creepy has happened yet, and I'm like 2/3 of the way through the book. So our main dude, Leslie, who I said he's a trans man who has to hide as a woman because he's a traveling nurse, a frontier nurse, visiting a very backwoods mountain town in Kentucky. They are fully under the power of their preacher, Holiday. His last name's Holiday. I don't remember his first name. Preacher Holiday keeps doing these sermons where he's talking about the sins of people who deviate from the flock, kind of a thing. Anyone who's different is bad. And this outsider, Leslie, appears quote unquote mannish. A mannish woman is what he appears to be to this town. He is, according to the pastor, the preacher, the Holiday, he is a bad influence on the rest of the town, specifically a young man named Stevie Mattingly, who Leslie has found out is another trans man living in the confines of this town, who is also very secretly, closetedly trans. Leslie wanted to give up on his mission. These people are not receptive of medical work. They don't want to let their pregnant women be seen by a doctor or a nurse. They believe that science getting in the way of a husband and wife's business is blasphemy. So Leslie was gonna give up, but then he meets Stevie and he decides from then on he cannot give up. This is a young trans person who needs his help. And speaking of him being young, Stevie is 18 and Leslie is 30. And that's a big, almost illegal age gap. And it seems like there's some sexual tension going on, which I don't love with that kind of an age gap. And I'm nervous for what might be happening, what might wind up happening. I'm gonna cross my fingers that that doesn't happen, but it seems like it will. So, well, technically legal, still icky. But anyway, Leslie feels very claustrophobic in this town also. They're in the middle of the wilderness, in the middle of the wild, but there's a very claustrophobic sense through the whole thing. It feels like he's trapped there. There is claustrophobia, there's homophobia, there's racism. One of the very opening pages has Leslie getting off a train and seeing a whites-only fountain because this book was set in 1929. So there's racism, there's homophobia, there's claustrophobia, there's transphobia as far as there's unnamed transphobia, because at this point in 1929, especially in like a backwoods town, people don't know what it means to be transgender. They don't know that word. There's transphobia without the label. So I'm gonna keep going. I know I'm gonna probably have to prepare myself for a sex scene between an 18-year-old and a 30-year-old. Wish me luck. I was right. We just had an extremely graphic sex scene between an 18-year-old and a 30-year-old. And I don't feel good about that. But it happened and it was graphic. Okay, I'm gonna go finish the book. By the way, so far I'm feeling kind of neutrally about it. I don't dislike it. I don't love it. So far it's feeling like a 3.5 star range, somewhere like that. But I am underlining a whole, oh, I shouldn't have shown you that page. That's the sex page. I'm underlining a lot. There's a lot to be underlined, but so far it's feeling like maybe like a 3.5-ish kind of area. Maybe the last 30% will bump it up for me. Okay, bye. I'm not good at vlogging yet. I forgot to mention, the creepiness that is supposed to be coming throughout the book feels supernatural. There's supposedly a dark presence throughout this town, especially surrounding this creek, this big river, not a creek, river, it's bigger. It's a creek, a river, some body of moving water that goes pretty deep into the woods through this town. So, something supernatural. I don't know if we're getting ghosts. I don't know if we're getting demons. I don't know if we're getting monsters. We're getting something. Something is definitely going to happen, and I think I know. I have a theory. I have a theory as to what's gonna happen, but I can't tell you because that would be a spoiler. And I can't tell you, well, I can tell you if my theory is right. I just can't tell you what the theory was. Well, I have a theory that you can't know about. I know what I'm about to read. And I don't want to. I know it's coming. I know. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. Better light. So there was another sex scene, and it was worse. I'm done with the book. The book is over. It took a hard left turn in the final third. Very different from the first 2/3 of the book. Okay, this is gonna be a minor spoiler, but I can't not say this. You would love this book if you like reading erotic Disney retellings where Belle f***s the Beast in his beast form. I think I was spot on. Oh, by the way, my theory was right. My theory that I can't tell you about because it would be a spoiler, even though maybe I just spoiled it. I don't know. I think this is gonna be a 3.5 stars for me. So the main theme, I would say, of this book, this novella, the main through line is blaming trans people for shit that's not their fault, which is very relevant, but not taking your own responsibility. Okay, hold, that's not gonna work. Not taking responsibility for your own actions as a bad person. The whole town is filled with bad people. It's called Spar Creek. The whole town is filled with bad people who can't take responsibility for their own actions. And instead, they just blame everything on these 2 trans people who live in the town. They have real problems, real problems to deal with, but instead of focusing on the beast in the woods that's gonna come and kill them all, instead of focusing on the supernatural demon of a beast, they want to take out all their anger on this nurse who came here to do good and to help their people because they think he's a degenerate. They think he's a degenerate woman. So the main theme, I guess, is like monsters versus men. What makes someone a monster? What does a monster really mean? I've been reading a lot of books like this lately, where the end result is the real monster was the man all along. We get to the end of this book within the last like 25 pages, and this event happens, this crescendo of wrongness, and that's when we finally get to see the supernatural, the creepy, the horror part of the book, because it is indeed a monster, some kind of a monster, and we see it happen, and I'm not gonna go into much from there, although maybe context clues will let you know something that happens, because something happens. At its core, this is a book about revenge. It's definitely a revenge story, a justified revenge story. Maybe I'm showing my hand here a little bit, but it's a justified revenge story. And it's like country revenge. It's like, we're not dealing with the police, we're not dealing with the law. We are going to take revenge into our own hands and seal our own deal. There's also a big through line of not needing to make yourself softer when other people are being cruel, and not needing to conform to the expectations of those around you, not needing to morph yourself into the kind of person that everyone around you wants you to be. Also, there's something to say about loving your beloved no matter what form they may take. Loving them and all of their special parts. That was The Woods All Black. I wasn't obsessed with it. I definitely didn't dislike it. 3.5 stars feels right. That feels like where I'll end up at. So now on to Open Throat. The vlog is gonna be a little bit late because today I accidentally started fostering another stray dog. So I'm reading, oh Jesus, the light. I'm reading Open Throat now by Henry Hoke. I started reading it a few days ago. Oh, it's echoey in here. I hope that doesn't affect anything. Hopefully we'll be fine. I'm in my bedroom right now. It's being renovated, so there's like no furniture in here and it's echoey. So sorry if this is bad. But I started reading Open Throat a few days ago. I had to stop. I had a friend come into town for a few days and now I'm reading the rest. We're finishing. It's pretty easy to get through because it's written in these like micro thoughts kind of a thing. They're not full paragraphs. So it's easy. It's an easy thing to get through. But hi everyone. Hi. Hi. Oh God, hi. Okay. We're basically following a mountain lion who lives in Los Angeles. I read online it's based on P22, an actual cougar that lived in Los Angeles up until a few years ago. You guys are making a lot of noise. Yeah, I know, you're making so much noise. Thank you. So it's based on an actual mountain lion that lived in Los Angeles up until it died a few years ago. It's basically this mountain lion coming to terms with consciousness, and there's a lot of commentary on LA. And as someone who was born and raised in LA, I like that I know. You stop fighting when the camera turns on? Really? Oh, thank you. I was born in LA, I grew up in LA. And so I like being able to understand all of the little Easter eggs, the LA Easter eggs that are put into the book. But so far it's beautiful. I have almost teared up like 5 times just from like little one-liners. I'm getting the feeling that maybe he's not queer in terms of gay. He's not in LGBTQIA plus mountain lion. I have a feeling it's more of a metaphorical queerness in othering, people not liking you because you're different, that kind of a thing. So I'm gonna keep reading. Goodbye. Okay, I just read the whole rest of this in one go and I loved it. Easy 5 stars. Henry Hoke wrote this cougar's inner monologue, their stilted staccato thoughts in such a poetic way. The shortest line, the very shortest line will have you do a double take and have you staring at the wall, dissociating for 10 minutes, thinking about all the possible things that could have been meant by like 8 or 9 words. There's pretty scathing commentary about people in general in here. The trivial matters that some people choose to care about while other people have real serious issues that they have to contend with every day. 90% of the conversations that the cougar overhears is just hollow bullshit. Taking words like scarcity and using them in ways that almost render them meaningless, juxtaposed with actual scarcity when the cougar wanders into an encampment with people living on the street, or when the cougar itself goes so long without food or water that it thinks it might die. There was some talk of gender and sexuality near the end, but again, the queerness of this book seems to come mostly from the idea of being othered, from being hated when you're just trying to live and survive and do what you're naturally made to do. The mountain lion is wild and technically free, pretty much limited to this one relatively small park in LA. So they are free, but confined based on other humans and their limitations. I feel like I'm gonna be thinking about this book for a while, and I feel really confident about giving it 5 stars. Loved it. Amazing. So good and so short and so easy to read. So read it. And with that, we're officially done with our big gay vlog. To recap, I read Sunburn, a coming-of-age book about a girl growing up in Ireland and realizing she likes girls, and I give it 5 stars. The Woods All Black, about a trans man working as a nurse in a rural community and discovering a few different types of monstrousness, and I gave it 3.5 stars. And Open Throat, about a mountain lion trying to come to terms with their queerness and their identity while trying to survive in a world of intolerant and intolerable people, and I gave it 5 stars. I wasn't quite expecting this. I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't really expecting this. A 5-star, 3.5, and then another 5-star. But I guess the lesson I learned in this vlog is that I love gay-ass books. So thank you for joining me today. Thank you for accepting the fact that this is about 6 weeks later than Pride Month. I hope that you guys read at least one of these gay-ass books in your future. And that's it. Thank you for being here. If you can hear me, if you can read the subtitles, I love you, and I hope I see you very soon. Okay, bye.